All right, and here we go. It's day 1 of 40 days of, I realize it's going to be about power, authentic power. So it's interesting actually because, like I just did 40 days of tenderness and it almost seems like the opposite, but really it's the same, but it's a different nuance. So how I started was, I was thinking, if I were to focus on one thing, like, what do I really want in terms of, like, physical reality manifesting in the traditional sense, And it was money, That's the piece where I feel like is the most, the place where anxiety comes up, where it's harder for me to have faith, because so much seems to depend on it. And it makes me feel pressure about other aspects of my life. And so then I thought, well, actually, I really want just to feel prosperous, to feel prosperity in all ways, like to give from a place of abundance in terms of, like, emotionally, to work with people and to give to my family and friends from the place of just, I feel so good that I'm just, like, overflowing. That's what I really want. And of course, from there, I think the money would follow and everything else. So then I thought to just, concentrate on that, on prosperity in general. But when I meditated, I sat with myself, it was about power. And that includes prosperity. So authentic power, meaning like to fully embody this like presence, and this idea of doing a morning practice every day, or a series of them, that really puts me in this position of really being very directive and clear about what I want, and being fully present in my day and being more conscious of my thoughts. It's kind of like, I guess, putting into action everything that I know conceptually. And this symbol came to me of an iron, like iron weight, and the message was that I am unconquerable, which is what Invictus means, which is the movie I saw yesterday. So it's and again, it goes back to the tenderness thing, right? Because it's like the only way you can not be conquered is if you have no resistance, right? There's if you're completely open and in surrender, you can't be conquered because there's no fight. So that aspect is true, and I think I had to approach, it's like coming in this place of action and being more embodied and present in the world. Like being tender but still having form, like for me to give the way that I want, to be free to become who I want. I need to have certain conditions and a container in place, and for me to have that, it requires physical things. So those physical things are already present, but I do have to align myself with them. So the actions I need to take are not so much like physical actions as actions I need to take to align myself. So that's why I completely have faith that this morning practice is going to be enough. Yeah, to align me to what I already know is there. So to be, so like at a more concrete level, I'm going to bring in $5,000 in 30 days. this is not a huge amount, but it's a lot more than what's coming in now. So I would be very, very excited to see that manifest. And I was kind of on the fence about doing a specific goal, because I'm like, you know, I'd rather be surprised, and like, why limit the universe? Like, and that whole thing about like when you desire something, you're actually pushing it away, because then it's like, I want that. But I just think it's like, sometimes it's good to just have clarity, and it's simple. And again, my overarching intention is really about being in my power, which is really being unconditionally loving. And something like money or home or a relationship or whatever, those are just aspects that support that, or even just reflections of that truth, you know. So yep, that's what I'm going for. And oh, and so this morning, like, I didn't wake up feeling like it was Christmas morning or anything, which is what the guy in the book, his intention is, like, once you start doing these miracle mornings, like waking up every day feeling like life is a joy, which I do feel a lot in moments, but not usually when I wake up in the morning. So I didn't wake up this morning like that. But as I started to do the practices, let's say I wrote, and then I read the Book of Secrets. Oh yeah, I was really excited because, so the Book of Secrets is it's like an ancient tantric book. It talks about 112 methods of tantra, which actually means technique. Just, yeah, methods to be in oneness and recognize it, wake up to it. And so I started reading it, and the suggestion is like, do, you know, one technique at least for 3 days and see, and there's going to be one out of the 112 that like will just like hit you, you know, and you'll know it's the one. So of course it's a great idea, but I'm like, when am I ever going to do that, you know? But now I'm like, I'm going to. I mean, within 40 days I could do like 13. So the first 9 are breathing techniques. So the first one that I did today, and I'll do for the next 2 days, is it's like Vipassana meditation, where you just follow your breath. It's how the Buddha obtained enlightenment. It's very simple, and the breath is life. It's prana. So if you stay with it, it brings you to the present moment. And really, it's about following the breath, and then once you stay with it, then you start to be in the gaps in between, and the gaps in between is like yeah, light. So it was good to do, like, I've done formal meditation in the past, and again I've done it for long periods of time and then stopped because it started just to feel too rigid and masculine. And so I've been meditating just like laying down and not doing it in a formal way. But I decided, you know, for these experiments, I'm just gonna go for it and really see how it feels to me, because this time around I'm not doing it to like find something or try to do it the right way to fit some tradition. It's like I just want to see what feels the best to me. So and I don't want to have any excuses, you know. I don't want to hear someone else talk about it and just never really be sure. Like I kind of tried that technique, but I didn't really do it full on or the way it's suggested. And so it's like, why not totally commit and totally try something, and then I'll know for myself, you know, at least for now, that okay, not that one, and I can move on. And really, this whole thing of like experimentation and having things in a limited amount of time is really works for me, because yeah, maybe I'll just do like 40-day things for the rest of my life, but in my head it just makes it easier for me not to resist it, because if it's limited in time, then I feel like I know myself, and I have enough determination to stick with something for that long. It's just when it's amorphous, or like, then I just kind of keep pushing it back, or it seems too big if it's like, you know, do this for the rest of your life. So this technique is working for me for now, and I'm happy about that. Oh yeah, so I woke up not feeling that great. I started reading that, I did the technique, and then yeah, went to dance class early, and so I danced a little bit extra as my physical movement thing. And then my affirmation was, I'm a little bit weird with affirmations because it's the same thing as like the goals. It feels a little bit, I don't know, like limiting, like, do I really want to say one thing every day? So anyway, just for today, I picked the Kali card. So for today, I said to myself, I am a celebration of life. I am a never-ending celebration of life, and I embrace everything about who I am, especially my deep emotions, because I realize that's something that I must be avoiding. So I just letting all the parts of me know I'm ready and I'm open. And then, so while I was doing the routine, I didn't feel that great, but afterwards I felt really good. And again, I don't know if it was actually the techniques or just, it's empowering. It's empowering to just do the shit that you say you're gonna do. So yeah, that's day one. Okay, so another thing that was cool was a friend pointed out, because she watched my video and was saying how, I was kind of like, I didn't get everything I wanted from that first 40 days of tenderness. But it put me in a place where I'm really ready and excited to do this thing of like actually doing disciplined practices, which I've never really felt excited about the way I do now. And she said, what greater success than that? And it's so true. It's like, yeah, as we are on a never-ending journey, the best that I could hope for is that every step I take makes me excited about the next step, and that's how I feel. And I just to be more concise about the power and the tenderness, how I feel like they're related. It's like, I feel like authentic power is unconditional love embodied. This is where heaven and earth come together. Consistently align myself with the resources that are available to me, and just take the opportunity that this life has given me to show up fully. Then I'm not really loving myself, and I'm not really engaging with life. I'm not really fully loving this life. If I'm not giving my all in every way. And I did one of these exercises, which I usually resist to, of rating where you're at in all these areas of your life. And it was kind of dismal. It's like, wow, I don't feel that great about many areas of my life. It's not that I don't feel great about it, actually. I mean, that's kind of what made me feel better. I feel pretty good. And it's like, wow, I feel this good even when I know that I'm not anywhere near what I could be, the potential I could have. So in most things, how I feel about my relationship with my friends and family, my financial situation, my recreational time, blah, blah, blah. It was 2, 3. But what's interesting is I felt the best about my my health, which is the area I feel I don't pay attention to that much. So I felt really good about that I already feel pretty good about my health, and so it'll only get better. And then romantic relationship, which is weird because I'm not actually with someone, but I feel very clear about why I'm not fully with someone, and so I actually feel at peace with that. I mean, so that's a 5. I mean, I know it can be more fully embodied, and I want that, but right, it was interesting to me that I actually felt kind of at peace and satisfied with that. Yeah, but most other things were 1 or 2. So this is exciting because I mean, it's so much that can grow, and I think a lot's going to happen in a very short time, actually. I mean, because really, honestly, it's taken me 37 years of this life to get here. So I think when one is really ready, and all of that accumulated maybe frustration or dissatisfaction is like rocket fuel. Yeah, it's all been preparation. So I'm ready to receive more.